Welcome back to your trusted channel for coin collecting, history, and values. In today's video, we're diving deep into the story behind the 1976 Liberty USA 1-cent coin. What's it worth today? Is it rare? Let's find out. The year 1976 marked the bicentennial celebration of the United States of America, 200 years of independence. While special bicentennial designs were released for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins, the 1-cent penny retained its classic design. The 1976 penny still featured the beloved portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's profile on the obverse honors the 16th president, a symbol of unity and freedom. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Even though 1976 was a major year in U.S. history, the cent did not get a special design, making it a coin that's often overlooked by casual collectors. The 1976 Lincoln cent was produced in large numbers at both the Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark, mints. Here's a quick look at the mintage Philadelphia, 4.6 billion Denver, 4.2 billion, that's right. Over 8.8 billion pennies were struck in total, making this one of the most common coins from the 1970s. These coins were made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them a heavier weight compared to the post-1982 zinc pennies. If you've got a 1976 penny, it probably feels a little heavier, and that copper content is important for its value. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. Most 1976 pennies you'll find in circulation are well worn. These circulated coins typically have scratches, fading details, and discoloration due to age. Grading ranges from good, G4, to mint state, MS65+. Here's what to expect in good to fine condition. It's worth just face value, 1 cent. In uncirculated, MS60, MS63, the coin might fetch between $0.25 to $1. A high-grade MS65+ red coin can sell for up to $10 to $20 or more, especially if it has full luster and no contact marks. Coins graded by top services like PCGS or NGC tend to sell for higher values in auctions and collectors markets. Another important factor is metal content. Because 1976 pennies are made of mostly copper, their melt value is about 2 to 3 cents, depending on copper prices. But remember, *** melting U.S. cents for metal is illegal *** under federal law. Keep an eye out for errors. Some rare examples include double die obverse, DDO, BIE errors, small die breaks between letters B and E in Liberty. These types of errors can raise the value of a single penny to $20, $50, or even more depending on rarity and condition. In 2025, the market for 1976 Liberty 1-cent coins is stable. Here's what you can expect. Collectors love finding bright red, uncirculated examples, especially with full detail and no contact marks. Oh, there you have it. While the 1976 Liberty 1-cent coin isn't rare, it holds a special place in history and can still have value, especially in pristine condition or with unique errors. The 1976 Liberty 1-cent coin, more commonly known as the Lincoln penny, has a fascinating history, one tied to both tradition and America's bicentennial celebration. While 1976 was a significant year in U.S. history, marking 200 years of American independence, the Lincoln cent retained its usual design. This might surprise some collectors, especially since special bicentennial designs were issued for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins that year. But the humble penny kept its iconic look. The front of the coin, obverse, features a right-facing profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This design was introduced to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Brenner's initials V.D.B. were originally placed on the reverse of the 1909 coin, but were later moved to the shoulder of Lincoln's bust after public controversy. The reverse of the 1976 penny features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to mark 150 years since Lincoln's birth. This reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo, who would later become the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. Hidden within the Lincoln Memorial engraving, you can actually spot a tiny image of the Lincoln statue, making it the only coin to show both the exterior and a statue of the same person at once. The 1976 Lincoln cents were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark. Over 8.8 billion coins were struck, making it one of the most produced coins of its time. These pennies were made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams, a composition used from 1962 until mid-1982. In 1976, the U.S. Mint created special bicentennial reverse designs for 3 coins. The quarter showed a colonial drummer, the half-dollar featured Independence Hall, and the dollar coin had the Liberty Bell superimposed on the moon. However, the 1-cent coin was not redesigned, making it feel ordinary compared to its flashy siblings. Still, for collectors, the 1976 penny represents an important part of the coinage story, showing the Mint's choice to preserve tradition during a year of national celebration. The 1981 Liberty USA 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln cent. Could it be hiding in your pocket with more value than you think? Let's find out. The 1981 Lincoln cent is more than just a small coin, it's a piece of American history. This coin is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the front or obverse features the iconic bust of Lincoln, with the word Liberty on the left, the date 1981 on the right, and the motto, "In God We Trust," above. The back or reverse, at the time, still showcased the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo that had been used since 1959. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1981 Lincoln cent unique. From 1959 to 1982, these coins were made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. This makes them heavier than the post 1982 cents, which are mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. And 1981, these coins were struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; San Francisco, marked with an S for proof coins. Here's how many were made: Philadelphia, 7.5 billion; Denver, 5.4 billion; San Francisco, about 4.06 million proof coins only. So, what's the value of a 1981 Liberty 1-cent coin in circulation today? In average circulated condition, these coins are worth 1 cent, of course, but because of the high copper content, they're often saved by collectors and copper stackers. As of today's copper prices, a single 1981 penny has metal melt value of about 2 to 3 cents. That's double or even triple its face value. But here's where it gets exciting. If your 1981 penny is in uncirculated condition, MS 60 or higher, it can fetch between $0.10 and $1.50. High-grade mint state coins, MS 65 or above, can be worth up to $5 to $10, especially those with full red luster. Proof coins from San Francisco? In PR 65 or better, they range from $1 to $5, depending on the quality. Here's where things get really fun. If you find a 1981 penny with a mint error, its value could jump significantly. Now you might be asking, should I keep my 1981 pennies? Here's our advice: yes. If they're in high condition, are proof coins, or show any unusual features, yes. If you're stacking copper for the future, but if they're heavily worn and common, they likely hold only face value, unless copper becomes legal to melt and sell in bulk. To wrap it all up, the 1981 Liberty 1-cent coin may not make you instantly rich, but it definitely holds value beyond just 1 cent, especially for history lovers and savvy collectors. Oh, next time you're checking your change, don't overlook these little copper beauties. You never know, one of them might just be a treasure in disguise. The 1981 Liberty 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln cent, is part of one of the longest-running coin series in United States history. Let's go back in time. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, breaking the tradition of using symbolic female figures like Lady Liberty. The original design was created by artist Victor David Brenner, who placed Lincoln's right-facing bust on the obverse side of the coin. Above Lincoln's head are the words, "In God We Trust," to the left is the word, "Liberty," and to the right is the date, in this case, 1981. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse side featured 2 wheat ears, known as the wheat cent. Then, starting in 1959, the Lincoln Memorial replaced the wheat design. This reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, remained until 2008. If you look closely at the back of the 1981 cent, you'll even see a tiny image of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a unique detail no other coin had at the time. Now let's focus on 1981 specifically. This was the second to last year the Lincoln cents were made with 95% copper and 5% zinc. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a cheaper zinc core with only a thin copper coating due to rising copper prices. That makes 1981 cents some of the last true copper Lincoln pennies to circulate widely. This year, billions of Lincoln cents were produced for circulation. It was a time when the coin was still common in every American's pocket. But now, with the rise in metal value and collector interest, these older copper cents, including the 1981 issue, are getting more attention. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone curious about the change in your drawer, this coin offers a window into America's economic, artistic, and minting history. Fascinating history, unique features, and real circulated value of the 1984 Lincoln cent stick around. Your pocket change might just be hiding a treasure. The 1984 USA 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln cent or Liberty penny, is part of one of the most iconic coin series in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the design has gone through very few changes, making any small error or variation in these coins very valuable. On the obverse side of the 1984 penny, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the word Liberty, and to the right is the year 1984. Below that is the mint mark, either D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all, which means it was minted in Philadelphia. The reverse side still features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used from 1959 to 2008. Look closely. You might even see a tiny statue of Lincoln between the pillars. Now let's talk about what the 1984 penny is made of. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched the composition from 95% copper to a cheaper copper-plated zinc due to rising metal prices. So, your 1984 penny is made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper on the outside. In 1984, over 10 billion pennies were minted. That means this coin is very common, and finding it in your change is still possible today. Let's get to the part you're here for, the value. In most cases, a circulated 1984 Liberty 1-cent coin is worth just face value, 1 cent. But hold on, there are a few key exceptions. 1984, no mint mark, Philadelphia ** 1 to 3 cents 1984, D. Denver Mint ** 1 to 3 cents 1984, S. Proof coin from San Francisco ** up to $1 to $5 if found in good condition, but proof coins are usually not found in circulation. But if you happen to find one in uncirculated condition, it could be worth between 10 cents and $1 depending on the grade. Now here's where it gets exciting. One version of the 1984 penny could be worth hundreds of dollars, even in circulated condition. It's the 1984 double die obverse, DDO, on this coin. You'll see noticeable doubling on the word Liberty, the date 1984, and especially Lincoln's ear, which looks like it has a second ear. In circulated condition, a 1984 double die cent can sell for $100 to $300. In uncirculated condition, it can go up to $1,000 or more, depending on its grade. If you think you have a rare 1984 penny, here's what you can do: use a magnifying glass to look for doubling on the lettering and Lincoln's ear. Weigh the coin. If it's 3.11 grams, it could be a rare copper planchet error. Check for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. These can add value too. The 1984 Liberty USA 1-cent coin might be common, but if you find one in great condition or with a unique error, you could be looking at a much higher value than just a penny. So, check your jars, drawers, and pockets. You might just strike copper or zinc gold. The story of the 1984 Liberty 1-cent coin is tied to one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Lincoln cent. First introduced in 1909, this coin was released to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person on its design. From 1909 to 1958, the coin featured the famous wheat ears reverse, but starting in 1959, to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday, the reverse design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This is the design you see on the 1984 penny. The obverse, or front side, of the coin continued to feature the profile of Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head, the word ** Liberty ** appears, which is why some collectors casually refer to this as the Liberty cent. The date, 1984, sits to the right of Lincoln's portrait, and just below the date is the mint mark, D for Denver, no mark for Philadelphia, or S for San Francisco on proof coins. Now here's an important shift. In 1982, just 2 years before our featured coin, the U.S. Mint changed the coin's composition from 95% copper to a copper-coated zinc alloy.
Why?
Because the cost of copper had risen so much that it cost more than a penny to make a penny. The 1984 Lincoln cent was minted with this newer composition, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, making it lighter than older cents. You can even feel the difference if you weigh it. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while post-1982 zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams in 1984. The U.S. Mint produced over 8.1 billion Lincoln cents at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, about 6.5 billion at the Denver Mint, with D, and nearly 3.3 million proof coins at the San Francisco Mint, with S, made especially for collectors. This means the 1984 penny was not rare in terms of production, but like many coins, its history, metal changes, and unique errors make it a fun and sometimes valuable find for collector. 1988 Liberty USA 1 cent coin ***, a small copper-plated treasure with a big place in American coin history. Whether you found one in your pocket change or you're just curious, stay tuned to find out what this coin is worth today in circulated condition. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1988 1-cent coin is officially called the Lincoln Cent or Lincoln Penny. It was part of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. The obverse, or front, features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been on the penny since 1909. On the reverse, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, 1982. The U.S. Mint changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a cheaper zinc core with a thin copper plating. So by 1988, all pennies were being struck with this new copper-plated zinc formula. It's important to note that while the coin still says Liberty on the left side of Lincoln, and the motto "In God We Trust" above his head, this doesn't mean it's rare or special on its own. Every penny from this era has these features. Now, let's talk about how many of these coins were made and where. In 1988, the penny was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, ***, over 6.6 billion coins Denver, D mint mark, ***, over 5.25 billion coins San Francisco, S mint mark, ***, around 3 million, but these were proof coins made specifically for collectors. With billions of coins produced, the 1988 penny is not considered rare in circulated condition. But there are still some varieties and errors that can make them more valuable. More on that shortly. Let's zoom in on some details. One of the most interesting things about the 1988 penny is that it's part of a transition era. That means sometimes dies or tools from other years were accidentally used. One example is the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny. This variety has subtle design differences on the reverse side, specifically in the FG initials of the designer Frank Gasparo. If your coin has this variety, it could be worth $5 to $20 or more, even in circulated condition. Another thing to look for is die cracks, double dies, or off-center strikes. These are mint errors, and depending on how dramatic they are, collectors may pay $10 to over $100 for these pieces. Now, the question everyone's waiting for: what's the value of a regular 1988 Lincoln Cent in circulated condition? In average circulated condition, your 1988 penny is worth just 1 cent, its face value. Because so many were made, they are still very common in pocket change. The rare proof coins from San Francisco, with the S mint mark, in perfect condition can be worth $2 to $5, but unless you have a high-grade coin or a rare variety or error, most 1988 pennies are still worth just face value. So, how do you know if your coin is valuable? Here's what to look for: color ***. Red coins, uncirculated, are more desirable than brown ones, heavily circulated. Surface quality ***, scratches, dings, and discoloration reduce value. Strike quality ***, sharply struck coins with full details are better than weakly struck ones. Presence of errors or varieties ***, check for double dies. Rare reverse types or off-center strikes. If you think your coin is rare, consider getting it graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC, especially if it looks uncirculated. So, to wrap it up, the 1988 Liberty USA 1-cent coin is a fascinating piece of everyday history. While most are worth just a penny, some varieties or error coins can sell for real money. If you enjoy coin hunting, keep your eyes peeled, especially for the reverse of 1989 variety and any minting errors. Let us know in the comments. Have you found a 1988 penny with a unique feature? Do you collect Lincoln Cents? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more videos on coin values, histories, and collecting tips. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin tells a story. See you in the next one.